Well, good morning, everybody, from coast to coast. I'm your host, Ricardo Wilkins. Good morning, everybody. Glad to see you. And this is another Coffee with the Cowbell. All right, and I am happy to see you here today. Happy to grab a cup of coffee, geek out with you on Teams. So, yes, if you were wondering, I am in Ohio, and we have gotten a lot of snow, but it's all good. Snow comes, snow melts, so we're good to go. So let's chat about Teams here. Let's see. Let me switch off here. I guess that's a good one. Yeah, we can start here. Let me go here. Awesome. So as always, I am checking the chat in case you got any questions out there. I'm starting to get the hang of all these screens, so that's good. But in the meantime, I always come to these things with something that has happened, or something that's come up over the week, either with customers or with my own use of Teams with teammates. And so if nothing else, I like to talk about those kind of things. And this week, one of the things that came up that I thought might be interesting to show is file sharing in Teams, which, for those of you that know that SharePoint is behind the scenes, is pretty much file sharing with SharePoint. And it's a good thing that I can say it that way, because one, if you are a SharePoint type person, that means you can continue to leverage what you know about sharing files you can continue to leverage what you know about sharing files in SharePoint while you're using Teams. It's also good because if you are a Teams person that really doesn't have a big background in using files in SharePoint, you don't have to worry about that to some extent, because Teams helps out with that process. The first way it helps out is that when you have a team, and you're adding team members to it, and you got the file repository there like we're looking at here, those files are automatically shared to the whole team from now till forever, until somebody changes it, right? It's by default meant to share with the team members. So that's good. It means I don't have to be an expert in file sharing. I know if I add my team members to the team, they'll see the files. So that's a good thing. But then comes the time when you do want to change some things. And what are some of those scenarios? So one is, yes, I'm fine with everyone on the team seeing all the files, except today I have a file that only a few people should see. Okay, legit scenario, right? And there's a couple ways to do that, really. I mean, one would be, as you can kind of see here, would be the private channel. Okay, so that's really, you're not at that point, using your file sharing skills there. You make a new private channel, add those team members to that channel, and then once again, Teams does the work for you for putting the right permissions on the files for those people. It is opening up the files for the few people in that private channel, and but the rest of the people in the team, who of course can't see the channel, also cannot see the files. So that could be one way to do it. If maybe you're not a fan of private channels, because there are a couple of overhead items that you want to consider when using a private channel. So maybe you have that scenario, I only want to share with a few people, but I don't want a new channel. I want to do it within that same file structure. We can do that, but now we got to get into the file sharing piece. And so we'll talk about that in a sec. The other scenario could be I have a team. I'm happy with everybody being able to see the files, but I have this one file, or maybe this one folder, that I want someone externally to see. I don't want to add them to my team, either as a member or guest. I just want to share these files, and I'd rather not copy the files to another location to share them out there. I like to keep it all in one place. And we can do that. But again, that's file sharing, and we'll show that in a sec. And really, those are, to me, two of the biggest ones, right? I need to make some tweaks to sharing within my team, among my team members, and then I need to do some sharing outside of the team, and both of those are capable. Okay, so let me first show the private channel, just for the sake of it, right? I've already made one here. I called it no peeking. You can see the little symbol. Oops, sorry. Where did I go? You can see a little symbol there for the private channel. And to the untrained eye, really to any eye, it looks no different for the most part as any other channel, especially the files area, right? That looks the same as the files area of other channels. Behind the scenes, it is still SharePoint, but know that in order to do this private channel, it has created a whole another SharePoint site for that channel. So the moment you start doing a private channel, your days of going one place in SharePoint to manage all your files, you would now have a separate SharePoint site to manage that separate channel. And it makes sense. I mean, you've made that separate private channel for a reason. So you're going to manage it separately. So that takes care of permissions in the scenario we described just by doing that. But let's go here to this other channel here in another team. And we got some files in here. And actually, looks like a while back, actually, I did the same demonstration here. So here's audit planning, here's files, everybody can see these. But I have a folder there that clearly I've created for sharing with external people. But the other scenario we described is I have a file like maybe this audit template that I was okay with everybody in the team seeing it, but now I only want a couple of people to see it. So let's dive into that. So first thing I want to look at what's going on with this file. And while there are a lot of SharePoint functionality that is exposed in Teams, there's still some that is not. And so I'm going to go ahead and go into SharePoint and do some work on this. A little bigger. So there's the file I was looking at. If I hover over, you can see it's a popular file, 64 views. I'm actually going to click on the see details here. The reason I clicked on that, one is to show you that there is a details tab that gives you a little info about the activity and some things about it. The reason I came here though is because I want to see what permissions are already on it. Most files in Teams will have the, kind of that all members access. I may have changed this file in the past. That's kind of why I'm double checking here. So you can see at a glance that 3 groups have access. And I could click that and I could see here that the owners have owner rights, visitors and members, typical SharePoint stuff. And I can add individuals here. So this would be a case of if I just simply added people that are outside of the team, this would be the case of I want everybody in my team to see it and I want someone externally to see it as well. Doesn't mean I'm adding them to the team, doesn't even mean I'm giving them permission to see the other files in this folder are literally just the this file, and hopefully I can show what that looks like to an external person. But what I want to go is manage access, because I want to get into a little more detail. So this is the same thing I saw before. And again, this is SharePoint and Teams' attempt to keep it simple for me. This gives me the basics, and this could be enough for some, but I'm going to go hit advanced. How could I not? Oh, I'm not a member. I'm not an owner of this team. I picked the wrong team to try this on. Let's go back, because I always forget which sites I own. So let's go here, just for the sake of this. Let's go here. All right. So we'll let's come back here. There we go. There was some work I was doing with lists and whatnot. So it's a good example of kind of having your files area and also having additional columns and the cool Microsoft list stuff, which, by the way, got some exciting news lately. But continue with what I was doing here. So let's go into SharePoint again, because I'm pretty sure I own this team. And let's look at let's just look at this one. Actually, so we were already there really, but let's see. So we'll do manage access, and then we'll do advanced. All right, so I am an owner of this one. So where it has taken me now is old school SharePoint. If you have done SharePoint in the past, you know this page well. This is where you would manage permissions. And you know, this is where I can come and make some changes. The changes I would make for the scenario we just described, you can see it's inheriting from the team in this case, these particular permissions, and usually these defaults are what we want. Members to have editability, owners full control, and any visitors, which really isn't the case in the most case for teams, but they have read. What I would want to do is start tweaking this. I would need to stop inheriting, and I would need to start removing groups and adding individuals. Ultimately, I would probably remove all the groups and add the few individuals that I want to see this file, which is the scenario I described, right? I just wanted a few people. And if I change my mind later, then I could start inheriting again. But this is the place I want to come if I want to, in my opinion, if I wanted to do some fine-grained, you know, sharing or tuning. But as we saw before, a lot of times it's, you know, especially if you're just trying to share with externals, for instance, or maybe even another person in the company, but you don't want to add them to the team, this plus symbol is probably good enough. Same as the plus symbol here. And I need to tweak the thing here. And all of that plus symbol is essentially the same as the share button here. So no matter what things are going on with that file, I can come in here and add a person. You know, I've got my typical options, right? I can add a large group of people in the company or someone very specific. Decide whether I want to allow them to edit, decide whether I want them to be able to download, things like that. And I would just put their name in. And so if I was to proceed with this, Deborah would have access to this file in addition to the rest of the team. Okay. So the reason I'm really calling this out is because it just helps you understand that there are abilities to provide broader access than just the team, even though that is the default. And then when we come back to this example here, where was that? Even though I'm not a member, not an owner of this team, but that shared folder for externals. Let's go to SharePoint and look at that and take a look. I don't know if I actually fully implemented this or not, but let's see. 3 groups have access. It looks like I made the folder but didn't make the changes. But what this would be a folder specific to, with specific sharing on it, that I'm trying to set up for someone outside of the company. And so let's say I set this up for Jim Smith at ABC company, and I give him access to the folder. What's nice about that becomes a drop location where, as I continue to put files in that location, I've given them access to the folder, which means I've given them access to the files. So if I want to collaborate with someone externally, but for whatever reason I want to add them into my team, I could give them a link to this folder, and henceforth that could be the place where I and that person share files and collaborate on them. So that's easy to do. In fact, let's try that out, and I'll see if I can simulate an external person here. All right. So let's see. I think do I have a. So Bob's not external, but Surface Pro Bro is. Okay, so Surface Pro Bro is just out there. He's not a part of Contoso. So let's use him. Let me get his email going just to be ready to accept that invitation that will come. All right, so we got his email ready to go. I'm sure that'll come up in a sec. All right, so shared folder for externals. I want Surface Pro Bro to see this folder. So let me try to add them here. And what's up with that? Let's do, I don't know what's going on there, but let's do it with the share button. So I want a specific person and allow editing. And that's going to be Surface Pro Bro. And actually, is it Outlook or Gmail? I think has an Outlook account. I'm actually going to go with the Gmail, because a lot of times I see people surprised that you can collaborate with Gmail users. So you might not be as impressed if I shared with a Microsoft Outlook person, but you might be more impressed if I shared with a Gmail person. So let's do that. So that's gmail.com. All right, they are outside of your org. That's fine. And we'll send it off. Now on the Surface Pro Bro side, we're going to sit here and wait for a message about being added. And it should come, assuming I put the right email address in there. All right, so nothing yet. We'll wait for that. So we got that link sent. So we'll see that here in a sec. Maybe I should send it to the Outlook too, just in case. Now let me check, make sure there's nothing going on with my email account here. So I think we should be, oh, let's see, hold on, what was that I just saw? Teamwork, Cowbell, okay, so that's something different. Let's check on this. So no email yet. There could be something going on, because I had this problem last week. There could be something going on there. So let's do this. Let me try one more thing here. Surface Pro Bro at gmail.com. And this time I'm going to copy the link. Copy it. Now let's say I since the email doesn't seem to be going as fast as I would like, let's just give this link to Surface Pro Bro. So this is his browser. So if I were to pop that link in here, we're going to get the similar result of as if he had gotten the email, which is this. You've received a secure link to this folder. Sign in at surfaceprobro@gmail.com and we'll give you access immediately. So I just want to make sure that he is who I say he is. I've already signed in this browser, so that was a lot easier. What I could have shown is like totally fresh where you're putting in credentials and all that, but I guess you could just believe me. But what I really want us to see here is this is now the Surface Pro Bro's access to this folder. What you will notice missing is the stuff on the side that is talking, showing other folders and files, right? If I go back to audit planning, I see that. If I go back to documents, I see nothing. You saw just a second ago that there were files and folders there, but not for me. I'm only seeing what I have access to. I'm missing all kinds of things, right? None of the stuff is taking me. See, I tried to go to the root page of the District 9 Road Safety Team. It's not letting me. It's showing me that there are other members, but I can't see who they are. So I got access, but I got access to what I've been given access to, and I don't have access to other things that I was not given access to. So as far as the Surface Pro Bro, concerned, there's only this one folder ready for files, of which I could add some. Like maybe I want to put a new Word doc in there. Right, and that's going to auto save. Close it. Refresh here. Surface Pro Bro. Again, no guest access here. Just a good old-fashioned share. If I come back to the team, which was that here? Those files. I'm trying to remember where I was. Shared folder. Everybody can see Surface Pro Bro has put that document in there. Okay, so Surface Pro Bro is unaware of the fact that Teams is using this folder. Surface Pro Bro just has a folder and files that they're interacting with, for which we can co-author. If I come back over here, right? So we are in there together. We're seeing each other. I mean, Surface Pro Bro is a Gmail user, but they're getting all the full capabilities of real-time co-authoring here because of the fact that it's stored on SharePoint. So we get, we can do all our thing. So hopefully you saw there how easy that was, and hopefully you're able to use your imagination to realize this Surface Pro Bro has nothing to do with the Contoso organization over here. Is not a licensed Teams user. Is not a, whatever. It's a person on this planet with internet and a Gmail account, and we're rocking and rolling here. Okay, so that was kind of the cool, and so I did this week, collaborating with someone externally, and worked out okay. So from this point on, one could consider that this is now the spot for me and the Surface Pro Bro to collaborate in this one space. Again, he only sees that, even though there's actually tons of stuff over there. All right, so that's what I thought I'd show, because that came up this week. There's always something Teams related that comes up for me that I felt like I should talk about. Okay, yeah, good stuff. So I hope that was interesting for a Saturday morning. Hope you got your coffee and you were able to relax with the calming sounds of file sharing in Teams. This is like better than ocean waves and whale songs, right? file sharing. It's good stuff. All right. I will leave you alone now. Hope you had fun. I had fun. I'm going to have the rest of my coffee. Enjoy the rest of my Saturday. I hope you do too. And we'll see you next time on Coffee with the Cowbell.